Hi, everybody.
Hello.
How are you doing today?
Ah,
Welcome to our previously slow news day that became a very fast news day very quickly. This is the Stat Check Q3 Dataslate hot takes that just came out like 30 minutes ago, maybe.
yeah.
After
no chaos
possibly
whatsoever here.
after possibly being accidentally released early on a NAP push. A NAP push that said September 17th at the top. I don't know.
I don't know anymore.
I don't know anymore either.
Look,
Welcome.
it's out. It's on Warcom. We can talk about it. So gather in, everyone. This is just going to be a bit of a chaos run of Nathan and I talking through what just changed and just doing some really, talking through some dumb shit. We will still have our regularly scheduled sit and paint later today, but this is more of us just kind of going, let's see what just dropped and what we can make of it.
Yep, that will be at 7 p.m. Central today. Just come hang out, ask questions, and build some stuff. But let's talk about this slate thing that just dropped. We're going to go through this alphabetically, and we're going to do any MFM and any rules changes kind of at the same time.
Yeah. So let's start with core gameplay changes, of which there were none, which is kind of nice.
Yep.
Except
there what? Yeah. One.
Except for one very welcome change, which is that challenger cards are no longer used in the tournament companion. This is pretty substantial. Rather than them trying to fix them or tweak them or do whatever with them, they just said, you know what? Gone. Just wholesale removed them from competitive play.
It sounds like maybe GW had gotten enough negative feedback from various peoples about the challenger cards that they've decided to just yeet them out.
I'm surprised that they didn't take a swing at tweaking it rather than wholesale deleting it, because that's what they did with, Gambits didn't really change. I don't remember, but secret missions did get tweaked a fair bit, and the final form of them I kind of liked.
But it felt like there was some.
But challenger cards were definitely they were a problematic thing. At a minimum, they were very, very controversial and very polarizing within the community. But having seen the number of times that challenger cards flipped games or just made things way too close when someone was,
or just let the person in the dominant position somehow also get a challenger card.
Definitely happened to me a couple times the other weekend when I was at my event, where I went, I got a challenger card this turn. I should not be getting a challenger card.
When I was playing Chaos Demons at an RTT, I got challenger cards 3 or 4 times, and I was like, this isn't how this is supposed to work. I have greater demons on every point. That shouldn't happen. But it did. And so here we are.
All right. So that's basically it for core rules changes. There were 2 things in the errata that I noticed, and thank you, Games Workshop, for reformatting how these things are set up, where you actually just put what page the changes are on in the core rules errata. They were just like, how about we make this readable? And they just kind of go, these are the things that change in the core rules commentary and in the commentary. And the only things were clarification on how dev wounds and multiple damage work. So the whole idea is that if I hand you 10 dev wounds that are 2 damage and 10 dev wounds that are 1 damage, and that was the order that they were rolled in, how do you apply them? In the order they were rolled, not take 2, take 1, take 2, take 1, take 2, take 1. So I get perfect efficiency into your 3 wounded models.
Yeah. So the other one was the one model within 3 inches of a unit with a hull thing, where they made it back to where it was before.
Well, no. They kept the change that they had intended to make, which was to clarify that you just have to be within 3 inches
of the hull.
Or sorry, basically that you just had to be within the projection of it with every model, as opposed to just with one model that some people thought was the way it was supposed to work, because so that was
it's fine. It's a good clarification.
It's fine. It's
all 3 positive steps that people like.
Yes.
So we'll go with it.
Yeah, I will take that. So in terms of core gameplay, great stuff. Nothing major. The biggest complaint being challenger cards is now just gone, so much celebration was had.
Mm-hmm. Thank you, that one guy, for the $4.99 super chat for content for the content gods. Thanks, guys. Thank you for this.
Happy to join you all Friday afternoon with some very, very surprising 40K stuff.
Only to join you again Friday evening for even more 40K stuff. It'll be fun.
I just finished priming a whole bunch of Votann, so we'll have some fun.
I'm going to be building a whole bunch of Space Wolves, despite my eternal sadness in this slate.
They're fine.
They're fine. I guess we start with Adepta Sororitas because they are first alphabetically.
They are indeed.
I'll do the rules changes if you want to do points, I suppose.
Yeah,
just
that works for me.
All right. That makes my life way easier. With Sisters, they only got one rules change, which was for Retributor squads. After a unit, if an attack targets an enemy unit that has destroyed one or more Adeptus Sororitas units from your army during the battle, you add 1 to the hit roll and 1 to the wound roll as well.
It's pretty good.
Yeah,
but
pretty good buff.
It's still on a Sororitas model that has, 1 wound and a 3-up save and his T3, so maybe it's okay. Retributors did go down 10 points though as well, so they're now 105 points for basically 4 multi-meltas that have
which isn't bad.
Reroll 1s to hit, wound, and then +1 to hit and wound if they're targeting something that already killed one of your units. So maybe they're worth looking at now. In
part of the churn for Miracle Dice is your units dying, right? So
it is how it works. And then other changes, Astra Thurga and Agatha Dolan went down 15 points, so that pair is now 70 points. The Imagifier went down 10, so she's now 65. And then St. Celestine went down 10, so she's 150. So generally, small tweaks to Sisters.
Nothing crazy there.
I think they're still trying to find their footing with it. And Sisters lately has been, I don't know, they've been sitting in a very interesting place. It's not been bad. It's not been good. It's just kind of been a little bit all over the place week to week as we've looked at their numbers. So maybe this helps with them a little bit more stability, and maybe the Retributor change is substantial enough that they start seeing play in things like Army of Faith or what's the Firestorm version? I'm really bad right now.
We're just going to call it a Firestorm version. Yeah, that's what we'll call it. Yeah.
Oh wait, they detached it right in front of me. It is a Bringers of Flame.
There you go. Firestorm. See, I think it makes Retributors a little bit more interesting, like as a trade unit, maybe coming out of a Rhino or something like that, because they have +1 to hit, +1 to wound. The Meltas might do something, but not necessarily.
I wonder if
+1 to wound and
+1 to wound opens up other weapon options as being valid for them. Probably not, but I'm sure I'll get flamed. I'm sure I'll get flamed for this later on. But yeah, because you can either give them heavy bolters, flamers, or multi-meltas.
Are those flamers strength 6 as well?
They are the 6/1/1 ones, yes.
It could be interesting if they kill a unit. If somebody kills one of your units, you could toast them. But
yeah,
I don't know.
The multi-melt is probably still better because it's like,
you're
looking at 8 shots. Yes, it hits on 4s, but it goes to hitting on 3s, rolling 1s, and then +1 to wound, re-rolling 1s.
Makes you much more efficient. But yeah. All right, Custodes, you're next.
Can we not?
You had no rules changes.
Can we just not do what they just decided to do, which is make Custodian Guard even cheaper?
Yeah, they're real cheap. Custodian Guards are now 40 points a model.
Yes,
200
so
points.
The 4-man went down 10 points, is now 160, and the 5-man went down 15 points, and is now 200 points.
That's cheap.
It's just like
a Custodian Guardsman is real cheap.
Like, I was talking this weekend with a friend of mine about I played against him. He was playing Lions, and he wasn't really feeling him. He's trying to figure out what he wanted to do for LVO and for Worlds. And I was just like, just take the Hadar special and just go full Custodian Guard. No, like don't even take a Custodes character. Just take Draxus. And just take like as many Custodian Guard as you can fit in there, and then fill in with like Sisters. And this got a lot easier now.
30 Custodian Guard is 1,200 points.
That's terrifying.
Just take 30 Custodian Guard. You still have 800 more points to put other stuff in.
I think you can fit some Caladius tanks, a bunch of Sisters, and like Draxus and a Calidus in there.
Yeah, that's a perfectly good army. Look at that.
Oh, I hate that. All right, other changes. Prosecutors, the 9 and 10 model variants went down 15 points. Cool for the Sisters of Silence. The Null Maiden Vigil it is. Then you have Shield Captain went down 10 points. That's actually pretty nice. The Venerable Land Raider went down 20 points because everyone's Land Raiders went down 20 points. Spoilers. That base Land Raider is now 20 points cheaper across the entire game, regardless of what faction you play. And then you have Vigilators. The 9 and 10 model variants went down 15 points as well. And that's it.
That's it. Just some little points dropped
Yeah,
to a bunch of stuff.
Small tweaks. They were kind of in a weird spot meta-wise. So I guess we'll see where they settle in.
Jeremy Jaden is asking if you are going to stud next weekend.
I am not. I don't have a team for it. So, and I didn't really want to plan anything. I don't really plan on many commitments right now. I've talked about it a little bit on the main show. I've been dealing with some chronic health problems for a little while now. And so committing to anything kind of long-term or travel-based is, especially where other people will rely on me, is unfortunately kind of rough. So. But let's talk about the AdMech now.
They have a lot of changes. This time I will go through a bunch of things. This army has all 3 columns full of changes. I don't think anybody else has a full page.
Space Marines has 2 full pages now.
Oh, Jesus, that's too many. All right.
I will say, shout out to the Warcom team or whoever it is that's putting this together, publications, whatever it is, of continuing to evolve the balanced data slate, formatting, because now it's a individual page per army.
Yeah.
So you aren't looking to and accidentally scrolling over something. It's just, here's a page for core rules. Here's a page for sisters. Here's a page for custodes. Here's 2 pages for AdMech, that kind of thing. So it's a lot cleaner and a lot easier to read through what you're dealing with.
Agreed. I even though at first it takes a second to regain kind of your footing with reading it, I do like that they highlight old changes and make them new ones red, just to give us a little bit of where we were and where we're going. Kind of, it's kind of nice. But I think
there's always room for improvement.
This,
I think that similar to what they did on the core rule changes, if they were to also add a little highlight at the top for the faction of, hey, this changed.
I'd agree.
Not the detail, but just kind of go, this changed. This entry is what you want to pay attention to.
Yeah. And I think they're doing a really good job with these. These are great.
Mm-hmm.
All right. For Adeptus Mechanicus, Call got a big glow up. He has a new Canticles of the Omnissiah ability where it's in your command phase and until the start of your next command phase. And you get a new invocation, Invocation of Machine Vengeance. At the start of your command phase, select 1 unit from your opponent's army until the start of your next command phase. That enemy unit is your Machine Vengeance target, and you get rerolls to hit into that target whenever a friendly Adeptus Mechanicus unit makes an attack. So you basically get oaths.
And the big thing here is this replaces his old reroll 1s within 6-inch bubble. It also works in both shooting and melee. So there's some interesting play that you can get into with there, especially with some of the other changes that were made. But I will point out, in the usual hilarity, Games Workshop messed up when they wrote this rule because the Canticles of the Omnissiah you choose in your command phase, but Invocation of Machine Vengeance you choose at the start of your command phase.
Yeah.
Which means no one's actually going to do this, and please, TOs, don't you dare. The intent is clearly that you choose to have oath, and then you choose your oath. The wording, strictly as is written, is that you don't have the ability active, so then you get to choose it, and then on your next next command phase, you get to choose your oath, which is, don't do that.
And then he did get another change on his auras, where to Mantra of Discipline, where it's add 1 to the objective control characteristics of models in that unit within 6 inches, alongside +1 to the test when you take a battle shot.
So I don't think you'll ever take this because AdMech don't exactly struggle to hold objectives usually.
Nope. And then the last one, Shroud Psalm, instead of giving cover, now it gives stealth to units within 6, which actually is pretty good.
Yeah.
And then,
I don't think you ever are going to stray away from the oath one, but if ever you do, the stealth one's probably where you settle.
And then the last one,
Solar Atomizer is hilarious now.
Atomizer got 3/3. The second one is it's now 3 shots at 18 inches, and now it's D6 damage. So it's 18 inches, 3 shots, hitting on 2s, strength 14, AP 4, D6 damage.
It also went up to melt a 3.
Yep, it also went up to melt a 3. So that's a gun. That is that is an actual gun that Call has. These changes make Call very interesting and probably mandatory. Since you just want machine vengeance, it's like a thing that your army can do. And he also actually has reasonable shooting now, which is good.
Yep.
Other changes, the Dune Crawler got a bunch of weapon profile changes. The Eradication Beamer is now 3D3 shots for both its dissipated and focus profiles. They're still blast. They also are sustained hits 1. And then the focus profile went up to strength 10. So it's 18 inches, 3D3 blast, sustained hits 1, hitting on 4s, 10, 3, 3. And then dissipated is 36 inches, 3D3 blast, sustained hits 1, 9, 2, 2, hitting on 4s. And then both the Iron Strider variants, autocannons, and las cannons got twin linked back, which is really good on relatively low shot number guns. So people will be happy about that. And then other changes were mostly to Sicarians, who have 4 attacks now with the power weapon at 421. And then the Taser Goad got AP, so it's 3 attacks at 611 with sustained hits 2. And then the Rust Stalker weapons.
The main change was
only
the Razor and Cord Claw, which is, I believe, the weapon that just the Princeps has, went down to 3 attacks, but it's now damage 2.
Yep. So those are reasonable changes. The Taser Goad one's really interesting. Getting AP on that attack is probably just really good.
Well, especially since often that can be AP 2 because you'll sit in the Doctrina that gives you the extra AP when you're within 6 of battle line. So, so definitely interesting. The Ballistari change is probably the most impactful one here. When we talk about points. So Call did go up 40 points. He went from 135 to 175. Worth? Maybe. Needed? Definitely. Because if you're still 135 with Oath, it would be insane. Ballistari went up a whole 5 points in exchange for gaining twin linked on their guns. That
seems fine. That
seems really good.
That's a pretty good deal. 3 of them are 225
points. Sustained hit twin linked las cannon shots for 75 points on a platform that moves 10 and can advance and shoot. So
sure.
It's pretty good. And that's it for point changes.
Yep. Adeptus,
they're like, we changed enough here. It's fine.
They did. They changed a bunch of shit. It's kind of interesting. And Jinjuice, I think it is interesting that they did like reduce the spiking to kind of give you a better middle. So you got 3D3 shots, and then
you basically gained D3 shots in exchange for going from sustained D3 to sustained 1.
Which, honestly, you were more likely to now. Yeah, honestly, it's probably better in the spiking form as well.
It makes it more stable, I think.
To spike. Yeah.
And 10-3-3 is a hell of a profile.
Talk about killing a lot of targets that you want to kill now.
Yep. All right. Aeldari.
Technically, Titanicus is between these 2 points, but nothing happened. There were no rules changes to Aeldari. I don't think we really expected there to be any.
All right. Point changes make me angry, but we'll continue.
I am very happy about these point changes.
Of course you are. You're an Eldar player.
Look, everybody is in our comments saying how much the show hates Eldar, and I'm like, but I play that.
Yeah, I was going to say, Nathan plays Eldar. Innes plays Eldar because we forced him to have an Eldar army.
I have a beautifully painted avatar over there in the corner who's very happy to have gotten
I have 2 Eldar models, and that is because I have a Solitaire and a Death Jester for the Drukhari army I'm working on.
Honestly, to kill people even more on stream, I might just start assembling fire dragons and other shit on stream.
That's
what I'm going to do.
All right, so Asserman went down 10 points. He's now 125. Awesome. The Avatar of Cain went down 20, which is horrible because we just exited Night Summer. That's when he would have been wanting to come out all the time. Corsair Void Reavers.
I don't think we've exited Night Summer, to be fair. I think we're
I
in
don't know.
Nightfall.
We'll talk about that later. Corsair Void Reavers, the 5 models went up 5, the 10 men went down 10, so there's an even bigger disparity now between their so there's actually there is a disparity now between their 5 and 10 in terms of like the point costs. Dire Avengers went down 5 for 5 and 10 for 10.
Interesting.
Swooping Hawks went up 20 for 10. So Liam or whoever it was that came up with that 30 Hawk build, fuck off, I guess.
He got it nerfed. Cool.
And we're like, fuck Hawk off.
And the funniest one, though, is Wraithblades going down 10 points.
I don't know what they're doing there. Sure. I mean, Eldar's still really good.
Yeah, Eldar's fine.
Like, I'm surprised that the Phoenix Lords that are being taken in pretty much every aspect host or war host list dodged a nerf. We'll see where they settle into the meta, but Aeldari were already doing exceptionally well. They won the last big event in Nova, and I expect that will continue to do well.
I mean, yeah, everything here is fine. It doesn't really change a lot of the existing lists, aside from maybe making some room for Void Reaver changes. You might see some 10-mans pop up just because they're cheaper. I don't know. You get some special weapons in that unit, maybe it's okay. I don't think it matters.
No, I think they're there. They exist.
Yeah.
They've always been more of a utility unit anyways.
Yeah. Astra Militarum is next, and I'll do the points changes here because it feels unfair that I get to say there are no rules changes and then make Jeremy read for 5 minutes. Astra Militarum, in case you are wondering, did not get any changes, but they did get a lot of points changes.
Lot is a bit much here.
I mean, they got a lot of points changes.
8 of the changes are just them dropping 30 points on every single of the Titanic hulls.
Look, don't take my fun away from me.
I'm taking it away.
Don't take it away. Both varieties of Rogaldorn go up 10 points. So that's the tank and the commander, which is a good change. They needed to go up in points. Every single Baneblade chassis went down 30 points, which I find very funny, especially because they now can be ordered by the guy on the horse. Leontis can now order them, so that makes me very amused.
What happened with his points?
His points went down 20 points. He went down 20 points to 130.
What you're telling me is Leontis and 4 Baneblades is now like 140 points cheaper?
Yeah. You can do it.
New meta.
You should do it.
Right on UKTC tables where you can see from one end of the table to the other.
Hey, one of them has an indirect profile, I believe. Just take that one.
I'm still very nervously reminding what happens when you put a whole bunch of mortars inside the firing deck one.
Oh yeah, the one that just has like firing deck 50 or something like that. It's fine. Everything's fine. Gaunt's Ghost went down 10 points to 100. Krieg Combat Engineers went down 10 points for the 5, which is interesting because they had gone up quite a bit for previously, and now they're going down.
Yeah, I think with their rework rule, they're definitely overpriced at 70, so 60 seems to be more fair. Makes them one of the cheapest units in the book that isn't a character. So,
and that's kind of it. Like Jeremy said, it is mostly just Baneblade changes. It's like 1, 2,
which is cool. It's nice to see the super heavies get some love.
They need it. Nobody ever plays a Baneblade chassis outside of an RTT. Maybe somebody will play one. Well, that's not true. At Tacoma the year before last, somebody brought a Baneblade.
Did pretty well with it too,
and did well. Yeah.
I think it was Tacoma. Was that Michael Fox?
I believe so. Yeah.
It's like the beautiful guard army.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Okay.
Black Templars page just says none dot on it.
I do love this is what I also love about the change to it, where it's just kind of like, all right, you now have a page, so you weren't forgotten. They did have to put that page in there, and they just put a none. But it is
it's very funny though to go from the guard page to this one, and it's just capital N none dot like period. Yep. That it feels like that.
It's almost that this page left blank intentionally.
Mm-hmm. All right. Blood Angels are next. They do have
so Black Templars also didn't get any points changes, most notably.
Correct. Their book just came out. It makes sense that they didn't.
Really it just dropped them and Grey Knights, so I wouldn't expect any changes to either of them.
All right. in case people were wondering, a Sanguinary Guard got rules changes for Blood Angels. They hit on 2s with the Encarmine Blades now, and then hit on 2s with the Encarmine Spear, and they have 4 attacks with the Spear now. So you're either 4 attacks at hitting on 2s, 6-3-2 with the Blades, or 4 attacks with Lance, hitting on 2s at 6-2-2.
I feel like swords are still what you want because of the extra AP, but built-in Lance is kind of hard to argue with.
Yeah.
AP2
is also a fine spot.
Yeah, and then in terms of points changes, there wasn't anything substantial aside from the Sanguinary Guard that they just buffed, also went up a little bit to compensate for that. So 3 models went up 15 points to 125, and 6 models went up 20 to 260. So
they are so cheap.
Yeah, that one guy. So what does Dante do now? Add 1 to hit roll. So
you hit all the time.
It means that you ever hit on 2s with a +1. You are immune to minuses to hit. When we were looking at this, it felt very much like they were trying to have Sanguinary Guard kind of operate a little bit more independently.
Mm.
So like not be as character focused, but or if not, Sanguinary Guard were usually used as a vehicle to deliver a character.
Yep, it seems fine.
Unfortunately, Death Company Marines with bolt rifles is a data sheet that still exists.
Yeah,
it do something with them.
I don't know. It's fine. I think Blood Angels scooting by is interesting. They probably could have gotten maybe a couple adjustments, but this is fine. I don't think they were blowing up the meta anyways. So
agreed.
That's quibbling.
Demons.
They got 1 change for rules. Legion of Excess Detachment, Seductive Gambit Detachment rule. Now has you can reroll the hit roll of 1. You can reroll the hit roll and you can reroll a wound roll of 1.
Okay, so what this changed from was I think it was like the April nerf to them, where what they had done was they had made it so that you rerolled 1s to hit and 1s to wound, and if you were in shadow, you had full rerolls to hit. So this isn't, and you still have the wound rerolls of 1. It's not a substantial change because it doesn't change any of the like strats or fundamental issues that they had changed to it already.
Mm-hmm.
So like, because Thieves of Pain and Overwhelming Excess are both still like neutered. So I don't know if this will have that much of an impact on them. However, coupled with that, they did get some point decreases. So Fiends went down 5 points a model. So they're now 95 for 3 and 190 for 6. And the Keeper's Secrets went down 20. So she is now 270 points.
It's really interesting. They're probably good changes. You might see Keepers in those demonic incursion lists even at that point. They're priced to sell.
Yeah, very much so.
All right. Chaos Knights are up next, and they got, I think, fairly substantial changes in rules, all things considered. Or at least things that you need that will be adjusting the meta state of Chaos Knights quite a bit. So Malefic Surge has changed, where previously you got a 5-up invuln and a Feel No Pain. Instead, you have to select the 5-up Feel No Pain, or the 6-up Feel No Pain, or the 5-up Invulnerable save. So you don't get both. You have to pick one or the other.
I guess. I don't think that was really needed.
And then the next one is for the Lords of Dread attachment. I think this is a really good change. The Claimed for the Dark Gods stratagem can only be used at the start of your command phase now. So you can no longer
This kills the detachment. Dead.
Yeah. You can't do all of the weird shenaniganry anymore.
Like, it should have been, if they wanted to restrict it a little bit, start of any of your phases, maybe.
Sure.
Because basically, like, the detachment rule is you get to use this strat for free.
Mm-hmm.
Once per battle round. But you can't use it turn 1 at all.
Yep.
Unless you go second. In which case, sure. But yeah, I don't think it's a great change. And I don't think it was a needed change to Lords of Dread.
I think the stratagem needed to change, but I don't think it needed to be this dramatic. It definitely changes that detachment.
Yeah.
And then Night Abominants changed. Warp Storms is now roll a d6 for each enemy unit within 9 inches of 1 or more models with this ability. On a 3+, that enemy unit suffers D3 mortal wounds. So you no longer get to roll for overlapping auras with this.
Yeah, because it's not defined as an aura, even though it behaved like an aura, and now they just make it behave like an aura would.
Yeah, which probably means we're not going to see Abominants really. Not as
They're
many.
Still one of the cheapest chassis. They're not horrible, but yeah.
Yeah.
They're not as good as they were. And Chaos Knights saw no point changes, because why would you?
Yeah. They seem fine. We're going to have to see what happens. I think you still just take Infernal Lance at this point. I'm sure somebody will make Lords of Dread work. But
yep. Oh, I'll add, this is something we haven't really been talking too much. There are also like Codex FAQs and erratas that are coming out.
Mm-hmm.
So one of the changes that did happen also is that the Helm Pack Lance was errated, so that the shoot or fight on death, you can't use it on a war dog that has already fought.
That's a good change. Fighting twice might be a little.
It's a war dog. I'm not like.
It's not crazy, but
I'm not too worried about that.
I think it just more lines it up with everything else that's like it, right?
Yeah.
There's been a lot of uniformity changes in 40K this edition.
Correct.
All right. Chaos Space Marines, no rules changes.
That's not true, because this is where I forgot. The Chaos Space Marine change is in the errata, because it's not a balance change. It's them fixing something that has just been broken for the longest time. Fabulous Bile, the Chirurgeon ability, now works like every other Resurrect ability.
Nice.
Where it is the first time this Fabulous model is destroyed, at the end of the phase, roll 1d6 and a 2+, set it back up on the battlefield as close as possible where it was destroyed, and not within engaged range of any models, with its full wounds remaining.
Are you saying that it wasn't really funny when I got to kill him 2 times over really quickly?
The funny thing about that is they left in the FAQ about when it's resolved. Which is still after the attack or other effect to destroy the Fabulous model has been resolved. In the event that he is returned to the battlefield while there are still attacks to be resolved against his unit, those attacks can still be resolved.
Oopsies.
that should no longer be in there.
That shouldn't be there.
Just take that out.
You got to take that out. Otherwise, it's just the same situation.
Except, no. It's better, because then you wait to the end of the phase. You go, I've got these 12 attacks that are allocated to him still. Does he stand back up? Yes. Go away.
You gotta wait until the end of the phase and then kill him.
Yeah.
All right.
But no, in all seriousness, the intent on this is clear. It was just basically a double check when you're doing that kind of an update to make sure that you grab those things. I'm just gonna make sure we haven't missed anything else. But I from what I remember reading through earlier, that was the only one of the armies that we've talked about so far.
Then Chaos Space Marines got like a small selection of points changes. Abaddon went down 10 points. Chaos Land Raider, similar all Land Raider chassis, as we mentioned earlier, went down 20. The Dark Commune went up 10, which is probably deserved at this point.
Stop picking ACDC bricks, please.
Yeah, that's really what they're trying to say. And then Venom Crawlers went down 10, and that appears to be it.
Yeah, like fairly minor changes all told. All right, I want to talk about both sides of the Dark Angels, because this has me very excited.
I just read it, and it is very cool. So yeah, please go.
First change. Landspeeder Vengeance is back, baby. Maybe. Probably not, but maybe. It got +1 damage on his weapons, which is pretty cool. Because it went from being 1 damage base and 2 damage in overcharge to 2 damage base and 3 on the overcharge. It's pretty cool. It's still 120 points for a not so durable hull, but it is D6 +1 shots at 933 twin linked blast. So you can have a bit of fun with that.
Yeah, that's pretty good.
But I actually missed that one the first 3 times I read this, because I was more focused on the fact that they changed the Lion again. And the Lion now gets to pick 2 abilities at the start in your command phase.
That might be good. I don't know. It might be good. What are his abilities again, Jeremy? I forget. Are they
the 3 that he gets
to
choose from is in your command phase with this unit is not within engagement range of 1 or more enemy units, so you can remove it from the battlefield and place in strategic reserves. Then the second one is, a friendly Adeptus Sororitas unit is within 6 inches. Each time a model in that unit makes a melee attack, you roll a hit roll of 1 and a reroll a wound roll of 1. And then the third one isn't actually listed here, but it's a 6-inch aura of 4-up Feel No Pain against mortal wounds, which is pretty good.
Being able to pick 2 of those seems good. I don't know.
Just windmill slam the rerolls and the Feel No Pain until it's the turn where you want to pick them up off the board.
Yeah, it seems fine.
Especially since you pick them up in your command phase and you choose at the start of your command phase.
Mm-hmm.
It's pretty good.
Look, I'm not saying that's good. That's probably good.
Yeah. And he's 315 points. Maybe he's worth it. He's been seeing a lot more play lately, so I'm excited to throw him on the table. I have an RTT tomorrow that is using all of this, so I might just hard pivot away from my Votann and just put Dark Angels on the table and go, wee.
You should do it. And then they got 1 point.
They're a lot of fun. Yes. The Wraithwood Wing Dark Shroud went down 15 points and is now 100, which is not in like it's a 6-inch bubble of stealth for your army. And because it's got this massive hull, it's actually quite easy to get everything within 6, get things within 6 of it. Because it's not wholly within 6, it's just within 6.
Right.
So
it's quite easy to get your whole army protected, which is good for your army, bad for your opponent. Death Guard have the classic none
and no
for
points
changes.
This
and
is
no
an
points
abomination.
changes. I think it's fine, but I also think it's not fine. It's
Death
like
Guard were
0.8.
doing better than Chaos Knights and got hit less hard than they did, and then Chaos Knights got hit again.
I think this was
Whereas
80%
Death Guard
of the...
is just like, what are we doing?
Yeah. I think Death Guard got 80% of the nerf I expected them to and skated on the last 20%, which I find interesting.
Yeah, whereas I'd say CK probably took like 110% of the needed nerf.
Definitely.
Actually, that's a good
Deathwatch?
point. Did the Death Guard Land Raider go down?
It did not.
Okay, now that's funny.
At least it's not labeled.
Wait, where? Oh, it's under Chaos Land Raider, right? They not have a Land Raider?
They do. It's 240 points still.
Okay, so it didn't change. That's funny. Okay, so Death Guard are the one exception to everyone going down 20 points on Land Raiders. I did not notice that. That is very funny.
There you go.
That's their nerf, is that they can't take a cheaper Land Raider like everyone else can.
That's true. They just get their nose thumbed at, basically. They just get thumbed at. Deathwatch get no rules changes, but do get changes to most of their things. Yeah, they get 10 points to veterans, 20 points to Fortis, 20 points to Indomitor, 20 points to Spectress, 15 to Talon Strike, and then 10 points off the Watchmaster model.
Yeah, like that coupled with the Land Raider changes, I just look at Mark Hurdle's lists and go, huh, you can fit a lot more junk in here now.
Yep. You slap the side of that Land Raider, man, I can fit so much garbage inside of this thing.
Because the Indomitor, that's the Gravis kill team, right?
I believe so.
It's 250 points for 10 Gravis bodies that are not horrible in terms of their output.
This is where
they're the ones that get the plus strength, right?
I'm pulling it up real quick.
Indomitor abilities. Yes. So they range attack the targets the closest eligible or melee when they make a charge move, plus 2 strength. And that's because the unit really composition is you get 3 heavy intercessors, and then you can take 3 with power fists and 3 with melter rifles. So you end up actually taking 4 of the heavy intercessors because it's a unit of 10 always.
Wow. But, yeah, that's really good.
Yeah. And like the heavy intercessors, they get every intercessor flamestorm. They get the Deathwatch heavy bolt rifle, and I think one of them can swap.
Yeah, one of them can take the heavy
bolter. No, 2 of them can, because it's for every 10 models. So you still get 2 of the heavy bolters.
Mm-hmm.
And then
which
you get
are
the
5-2-3 sustained hits, lethal hits.
Uh-huh.
And assault.
Yeah,
that weapon has every keyword.
That's every keyword.
Me looking at this weapon being like, how many keywords can we stuff on a heavy bolter?
It's missing blast.
You know what? I'm gonna email GW right now and tell them they should add blast to the heavy bolter.
Yeah. I always love seeing assault and heavy on the same profile, but yeah, like 3 shots at 5-2-3 with sustained lethal heavy, and then I believe they have access to ignore cover through a couple ways. So,
I mean,
yeah, that's for 250 points. That's a pretty good data sheet.
Honestly, I wouldn't be surprised to see like an uptick in Deathwatch play. This is a good change, and this will be an interesting army to see.
Get 10% more stuff. That's not a bad thing.
Yeah.
All right, Drukhari.
They got one change. And it's that Kronos 2 models are 85 points.
This is very much Codex waiting room.
Yeah, I don't think we were expecting them to get anything different. We were just previewed Lady Malice and the new Archon model, both of which are really cool. And we have God's favorite sadist and an Archon model, which I thought is really cool looking. Like
God's favorite princess is definitely my favorite.
People don't get me wrong. I love an Archon model, but
and
I have
it
like
is
12
significantly
damn
better
things.
than the current Archon model.
Correct. I just have like 12 of them on my shelf.
Yeah, I've been building my Drukhari for the last little while, and I was like, why does every box just have an Archon in it?
Yeah. Also, like, because the Archon models were pretty boring, I converted like 6 of them from other things. Like, every time a Vampire Counts model, or like Soulblight, rather, Gravelord's model was released, I would convert a Vampire into an Archon.
Warhammer Plus model lying around, I should probably turn her into
the cup. Archon. I turned her into an Archon.
Give me a second.
All you have to do is give her an Incubi thing, and then she's set. She's an Archon at that point.
Yeah, Carlina von Karsten.
Yeah, she's great. She's a great Archon model.
She's got the blade and everything. Yeah, I love it.
Yeah, it's perfect. Like I said, I got 10.
High def.
10
Converting Archon models was the Drukhari player way. It's like Necromunda. Is this an Archon model?
Correct. That is how I found most of my Archon models.
All right. Empress Children.
So they did get rules changes. Flawless Blades have 4 attacks, which I believe is just 1 more attack.
Yeah. Hey, it's a 33% increase.
That's true. And then Fulgrim gets Serpentine. Each time this model makes a normal advance or fallback move, it can move over sections of terrain features that are 4 inches or less in height.
So, question for you. On a GW board, what sections are 4 inches or less?
All of them except for the big ruins, right? They're 2 inches. I thought the little ones were shorter than 4. They're like 2 inches tall.
Well, the 2 inches, yeah, you can already move over 2 inches without any impairment whatsoever.
So yeah, then it is done. Huh. Why not just give him the ability to breach walls? Just do it. He's a big snake. Let him go through walls.
When I was doing this, I was like, wait, they bounce around like the chapter proof layouts for these kind of things. This doesn't do anything for him.
Yeah, honestly, I was like, oh yeah, you can go over the little ruins. But then you were like, how tall are those ruins, Nathan? And I was like,
and I can say right now that they have been historically ruled as, like, even if they might be a slightly less, they've been historically ruled as like 4 1/4, specifically so knights don't go through them for free.
Yeah. Well,
sorry, Fulgrim, you still suck.
You didn't get anything.
Points wise, they got the compensatory Land Raider decrease. They're now 220. Yep. Fulgrim did go down another 25 points, so he's now 340.
He is potentially playable. Like at 340 points. He's not bad. You just have to figure out a way to get him around the table. Maybe it's a rapid ingress thing.
The problem still is that pie plate that he sits on when coupled with just being able to move block him with individual idiots.
Yeah, he's on 130 millimeter base, the biggest base, basically, aside from the Soulbinder. Yeah, actually, you know what? Give him fly. I would just say he ignores terrain. Give him a flip belt because he's a giant snake and has wings.
I'm going to go check to see if he actually does have fly already, because I think he does. Yeah, he already has fly.
That doesn't do anything.
He has giant wings. Of course, he already has fly.
He just give him a flip belt.
Yeah, sorry. I'm used to Scarbrand.
Who has wings, but they're broken, and therefore he does not have fly.
Mm.
To be fair, if Scarbrand could fly, we would all be in trouble.
I wouldn't be opposed to that. He still only moves like 8 inches. Lord Cacophonous went up 10 points, and then the Keeper of Secrets went down 10, and Seekers went down 10 for 5 or 20 for 10.
Mm-hmm. It seems fine.
It was funny. I was talking with a friend of mine right when this got posted, and she was just like, John Lennon's list is now 2005. That is infuriating. They're like, what can we do to specifically piss off John? And apparently the answer is Cacophonous up 10.
All right. The next one is Genestealer Cults, who also have a ton of changes, and I'm going to go through them. So we have all the Cult Ambush stuff and everything, and then in the middle column of this, for Biosanctic Brood Surge, the Evasive Vanguard stratagem, now it says target, select one of those Cult Ambush markers. Effect, you can set up that Cult Ambush marker anywhere on the battlefield that is more than 9 inches away horizontally from all enemy units.
Yeah, so this is basically when an enemy unit finishes within 9, rather than the token just disappearing, you can spend a CP and put it somewhere else.
Yep. And then Host of Ascension. Oh, sorry, go ahead.
Which, I mean, it's an impact, but I don't know.
Host of Ascension is next. Primed and Readied went up to 2 CP. Return to the Shadows is now when at end of your opponent's fight phase, and then it's the same otherwise. 1 Genestealer infantry unit from your army that is not within engagement range of 1 or more enemy units. This lines it up with a bunch of other stuff. This means that your opponent can't reactive pick up a 20-man neophyte brick that has been put in front of you during the shooting phase. As a man who has fought that unit and had it go, you killed 5 of me, goodbye.
Yeah, it also means that they can pick up any unit that they want, whenever they want.
Yep. So it's good,
so,
but
like
it's
them going second on turn 1. They can just pick up a neophyte brick and still drop it in your face.
Mhm.
But the primed and ready stratagem, which was just above this, also went up to 2 CP, which is pretty substantial.
And there are some datasheet changes to this army as well that we'll talk about in a minute. Outlander Claw got a change to Along Shadowed Trails, where the target and effect is changed to its select a Cult ambush marker, and then you can set up that Cult ambush marker 9 inches horizontally away from all enemy units. I believe that's another reactive move, your Cult ambush marker. It just lines it up with the other one, and then Xenocreed gets 1 change for the Downtrodden Rise. End of your reinforcement step of your opponent's movement phase. Until the end of the phase, you can set up your unit on the battlefield without using a Cult ambush marker. When doing so, set up your unit anywhere on the battlefield that is more than 6 inches horizontally away from all enemy units.
That's
a really cool stratagem.
Like it's a 6-inch ingress, basically.
That's really cool.
Let's talk about what they did to the Primus.
They made the Primus real bad. They made his Demagogue ability, which was previously reroll all hit rolls. They made it +1 to hit. That is a big deal.
Yeah.
I mean,
so that
I guess
coupled
you're not
with
taking
the primed and ready, which is the critical 5s stratagem, really neuters the output of that brick.
Yep.
Because it used to be before you would just go, I'm just going to fish for 5s, and I've got sustain lethal on this unit.
Mm-hmm. It's a pretty big deal. I think Host of Ascension is really catching it.
Yeah. Which deserved. It's been sitting at 60% for months now. And these are like very targeted. Let's not just raise the cost on neophytes again.
Yep.
Which, in terms of point changes, the Abominant went down 10. So that coupled with the Biosanctic change, they're very much like, please play Biosanctic, it's fun. Ridge Runners did go up 10 points for the single model, which is
that's a good
annoying.
Change.
Adel and Jackals went up 10 points for the 5 strong unit.
Yep.
Hybrid Metamorphs went down 10 and 20 for 5 and 10. And the Primus went down 10 because you're never going to see him again. And then the Pure Strain Genestealers, if you're taking them in 10s, they went down 10 points. Yep. So you get a 1 point per model discount when you take the 10s. It's rough. Like there's no hiding it. I expect the Genestealer Cults, at the very least, Host will settle around 50%, maybe a little bit below it.
Mm-hmm.
But it also depends on who's still playing it at that point.
Yeah. I mean, you'll have to look to the people who are experts in that, like Floof. They will probably come up with something new. Or Innis, if Innis goes back to Genestealer Cult. Innis, though, has been talking about playing all sorts of stuff.
From Genestealer Cult, and this just reinforces that.
Innis is like, I'm going to take a break. And we're all like, sure. And then it's like, oh, yeah, it's a good time to take a break. Grey Knights got no rules changes, but they did get points changes. They got 20 points off both their Land Raider chassis.
No, they didn't. They got 20 points off the Land Raider, and they got 15 points off the Redeemer.
What the heck? 15 points?
It makes it the same cost as the Space Marine Redeemer.
I know, it's fine. It just...
Yeah.
I just wanted to be...
I do like how they got the Land Raider change, but Death Guard didn't. Whoever was going through it, going, yep, all Land Raiders go down. Grey Knights new, no notes, but got to do that. Death Guard, we already updated their points, but you can't risk their Land Raider getting too cheap.
Yep.
All right. Next, Imperial Agents is in fact an army that exists.
They got datasheet changes about who can lead units, if I remember correctly.
I think it was just Draxus. Draxus and the Inquisitor.
So, like, you can no longer lead Deathwatch kill teams with non-Deathwatch. It might be just Draxus.
Draxus and the Inquisitor both lost it, where they can't lead the Deathwatch kill team, which makes sense to me because, one, it led to a whole bunch of arguments about what they could actually lead in Deathwatch.
Mm-hmm.
And then the addendum to that was also that Deathwatch kill teams have battle lines, so they can't still lead them. Depends on which one you're talking about. Basically, they try to clean up. But one of the things to point out is that in Agents, the Watchmaster as well as the kill team points also went down, but not for allies. I expect that we're going to see a new data sheet because we do have that new kill team kit coming out soon. So there could be a substantial change in what kind of war gear they have or what their ability is.
I'd expect something like that coming down the pipe for them. I think we're going to see major kill team, like basic kill team refresh with that new unit, because it does look
like for the Talon Strike and all, and you know, the Dometer and all those the models already exist, so there's no reason to change anything there. But for everything else, worth looking at.
Yep. Otherwise, they got minor points decreases to kill team and the Watchmaster. It's 10 for 10 on the kill team, and then 10 for the Watchmaster.
Yep. Basically,
Imperial...
the same thing that happened in Deathwatch themselves.
Yep. So Imperial Knights got big changes in advance of their codex coming out next week.
Yeah.
So we're going to talk about the rules changes first, and then we'll
there
talk
were no
about
point changes.
Oh, there are no point changes. We're just going to talk about rules changes.
So anyone who's looking at this document right now and following along at home, there are point changes showing, but that's because the codex. This is the first codex MFM that's coming out for them. But these are the exact same points that we currently have.
Yes, it is interesting. We do get to see that the Defender went down 10 points, but has 425 points. That's very funny. I assume that must be codex.
It is the most expensive of any of those chassis.
It's true. It is more expensive than the Dominuses. Yeah. All right. Rules changes, though, which is what people care about. So Valor Strike, I think, might be mostly dead. They definitely took it out back and beat it with baseball bats for a minute.
They definitely said, how dare you drive so much discourse and dialogue about this army before you're even out? How dare you?
The detachment rule has changed into... Each time an Imperial Knight unit from your army advances, until the end of the turn, ranged weapons are equipped by Imperial Knights have the assault ability. Notably, they took out the reroll to advances.
Also, the wording on this is now very awkward because it says each of an Imperial Knights unit from your army advances until the end of the turn. Ranged weapons equipped by Imperial Knights models from your army have the assault ability.
It's not good. That just means
it's a very poor.
If I advance one guy, everybody
gets
has
assault. But it doesn't matter because none of the other guys advanced.
It's true. The next one is the changes. All right, all of their stratagems that targeted multiple knights within 9 inches of a point have been changed to one Imperial Knight, basically.
Which that was needed.
Yeah, so it's really
I think
three stratagems that got the change. It's run them through Full Tilt and Vow of Retribution. I don't remember.
The Full Tilt's the biggest one. The Full Tilt is the +2 move strat, which you could make a whole bunch of knights move very, very fast for very little risk.
Yep.
And then run them through was the Lance, I think.
Yes, correct.
I can't remember what Vow of Retribution was.
Somebody said it's lethals. I guess I can pull it up real quick. I think I have.
The lethals would make... Yeah, it's the lethals and shooting. That would make sense.
Let me double check, because there are 3 other stratagems still in that detachment.
Well, one of them is rotate.
One of them is rotate.
One of them is a reactive move.
One of them is reactive move. And then the only one that isn't different... Oh, Thunderstomp. So they're just the ones that targeted one guy. All right.
Yeah. So basically, they were just like, stop. No, don't do that.
Just one person.
Yeah. Jeff Turkey Baster points out that I think the Knight Alpha Strike is a lot less likely to just mow you down in your deployment zone now. This is very true. Like the hit to Full Tilt as well as to the detachment rule mean it's much less reliable to get. They might be able to put one knight in your face turn 1, but one knight in your face turn 1 is generally a bad idea.
Yeah.
Most armies can deal with one knight.
Yeah. And you can screen one knight.
Yep.
Like, let's not get too excited. All right. Leagues of Votann got no rules changes, did they get?
They got Codex errata changes.
They got their errata. Cool.
And so technically, Grey Knights did too, but I didn't even want to talk about them because it was more funny than anything else. Because the Grey Knights, Codex updates and errata is one line, which is page 72, Brother Chaplain abilities core, add leader. Because they forgot to give him the leader keyword.
That seems like an easy to fix thing that they fixed. I'm glad they did that.
So for Leagues of Votann, the changes were actually like perfectly reasonable. What they did was Need Guard. They tweaked the wording. I didn't actually realize that this was an issue, but basically it now specifically specifies you can only target that enemy unit when doing so. That's the shoot back strat. So I actually will have to go back and look to see what the wording on that originally was. I just always played it as you had to shoot the thing that shot you. But the more important thing is that to brand fast, the secure position stratagem. So this is the stratagem that allows you to disembark at the end of any phase wholly within 6 of your transport, is now the end of any of your phases. It still has the restriction of your army being in hostile acquisition, and you also cannot charge the same turn.
That's a good change. Those are all good changes.
Yeah, I think it would have been fine to leave it as being able to do it in your opponent's turn. But the no charge was, kind of needed.
Kind of need that. All right.
Necrons
are up
the
next.
Other one, which was this more funny than anything else, and calling out certain people without naming names, but someone in the Stat Check Discord suggested putting artillery in transports. You can't do that. Not allowed.
They took it away.
Yes, they specifically now in the Sagittar and in the Hecaton description cannot carry artillery units. There's no putting Earthshakers in transports.
That was very funny. Mostly because those guns are as big as the transports.
Oh yeah, for sure. The idea of putting 6 Earthshakers inside a single Sagittar was very funny.
It's a clown car.
Don't do it. But, and yeah, like Andres also pointed out, that they did rework Hearthband. I'm still trying to figure out exactly what they did with it. I know that the rule for the detachment now doesn't conflict with Hearthguard actual rules. So basically, Hearthband was the Grotmus detachment that basically no one played aside from the occasional brave person and then Team England. But so what it used to give reroll 1s when you're targeting the closest or an engaged unit, and then if you were a Call, Hearthguard, or Uthar unit, you also got +1 AP when you were targeting the closest or in combat. Now, because Hearthguard just natively reroll 1s to hit against the closest and ranged, it's reroll wound rolls of 1. Just pretty solid. And then they did a couple small tweaks to the enhancements and the detachment rules in there. But basically, it comes down to the enhancement, which is the Bastion, decreases the incoming AP by 1 for range attacks when the opponent's within 12, and you can spend a yield point, which didn't exist before the Codex, to make it within 18. And then they also changed the stratagem, which gave Hearthguard rapid fire, but not on blast weapons, which was absolutely useless on the Hearthguard if you took the plasma guns, because they already had rapid fire in the Codex now. It now gives them +1 strength, and if you spend a yield point, it gets you sustained hits 1. So pretty solid. I don't think it's that great, but going to strength 8 on them is kind of nice. And then the detachment now gives you reroll wound rolls, and you still have +1 AP, so could be interesting. I still think that Need Guard is the better place to run Hearthguard if you're going to run them at all.
I think I agree. All I want to see are angry miners, though. I don't care about. I just want to see the angry mining team. Put all my Chthonian
I just primed 10 of those.
There's a preview for the hobby stream later. Is a bunch of Zerks to get painted.
It's either a bunch of Berserks finishing off some Steeljacks, or me building Drukhari because I can't hold a brush right now.
Fair.
All right.
Necrons. They got one rule change, but I think it's a big deal.
It's a massive change.
The Silent King. The Sad King. The Silent King's Bringer of Unity ability has been changed to Relentless March. While a friendly Necrons unit is within 6 inches, they get 2 inches to their move characteristic, which replaces the ignoring modifiers that was on.
Massive.
That is a huge change to the Silent King. I think people probably still take him, but especially it is coupled with a points reduction.
He does go down 20 points. He's probably still worth it because he still does a good amount of things, and like +2 to move army-wide is not bad.
Sorry. If he wanted to keep ignore mods, he should have spoken up. Sorry.
Well, that's one mod
Thank
he
you,
can't
Jeff.
ignore.
Ooh, damn. All right.
And then Triarch Praetorians went down 2 points a model.
Yep. 10 for 5 and 20 for 10. Just in case. No, you can't do math.
That's a good question, actually. Someone just said, wasn't Bringer of Unity the leadership buff? I thought that was the Ignore Mods one.
I thought that was Ignore Mods.
Silent King. Abilities. Triarch abilities.
I thought it was... Nah.
Nope. The leadership buff is... leadership buff is just the Silent King, which is, well, a friendly Necron is within 6 inches of this unit's Xerix model, improve that unit's leadership characteristic by 1. He just always has that. And then he chooses one of the other 3, which is the reroll, hit and wound rolls of 1, the +1 strength in melee and reroll charge rolls, and now +2 move.
Yep.
I still have the app update that got pulled because I just decided to turn off automatic updates.
My automatic updates are also off because every time I judge an event, I have to keep it off because if a last minute update comes in, it's really hard to make judge calls with an up-to-date
It's
app.
very difficult. Yeah, someone I think it was actually in stat check. Someone pointed out that, hey, they dropped something, and I went, cool. So I hit the update, and then someone said it's gone, and I went, well, I'm just not going to hit update again.
Yeah, that was me too.
Out, so, but yeah, that's Necrons. They're fine.
Yeah, they'll be fine.
Right.
Necrons have been fine all edition. Wow, I'm not doing it that loud. I'm going to scare like my neighbors. Orcs got a bunch of changes. True, I probably did. I didn't actually see if he moved. Orcs get a bunch of changes, and they're good changes. They're changes that orcs needed, and they're coupled with a fair number of points changes. First change is to battle wagons. Gazcall now takes up the space of 4 models instead of 20 or 16 or whatever
18.
It was.
It was something weird. Yeah. So the other fun part about this is they removed the caveat on whether you had an Ard case or a Zap gun.
Yep.
Which, so as some people may remember from about a year ago, that was a bit of an issue.
Yep. So instead, it's no longer a problem. And Gaz can now be put into it without you basically needing to take up all the spaces with him in a min unit of Mechanops.
Yeah. So now you can put full unit of Mechanops and him in there. And it could be T12 because you can put the Ard case on it without restricting the transport capacity. It just turns off firing deck.
Yep. And then Death Dread's got a new data shoot ability where each time they end a charge move, roll a d6 on a 2 to a 5, d3 mortal wounds, and on a 6, that enemy unit suffers d3 plus 3. That's a pretty good extra rule to
It's basically the Brutalis. So you can do this and then also Tank Shock, or I guess it would be Tank Shock, then use this ability.
Yep. Hunter Rigs got monster keyword instead of vehicle.
So there's a very funny discussion about why they did that. So they lose access to Tank Shock.
Yep.
You can't Tank Shock with them anymore, but they gain the ability to heroic because they're no longer vehicles because they weren't walkers. And also now gain immunity to any kind of anti-vehicle in exchange for being now being subjected to any kind of anti-monster weapon. Yep. Which, from a Votann perspective, all of our grab is anti-monster vehicle. It's cool. Drukhari with Haywire Blasters now look at this and go,
It's just because they're basically giant chariots, right? It's a giant chariot pulled by 2 big monsters. They should make it mounted. They also get an extra pip of AP on saw blades for those units.
That's a bigger one. That's actually pretty substantial because they're low AP. Why was it AP 1?
Yeah, they're AP 2 now. 6 attacks hitting on 3s at 10-2-2 is neat. Gaz can now lead boys units and knobs units, which lets him lead Breaka boys now because they have that keyword. Or it's because Breakas have that thing where they say things that lead boys units. Breakas or Wreckas, one of the 2 of them.
Breakas don't have it. An attached unit. Yes, you could attach Breaka boys to Gaz to Breaka boys. That is very funny. Anyways. Oh, they reroll charges.
They do.
I mean, they also tweaked boys in the bodyguard where they made it so that their double attach now works for a war boss unit, which means that if you can double attach Gaz and a pain boy.
That's pretty good. Yeah. I like it.
I'm just looking at these changing from like
I
a
like
Green Tide perspective, and I just see Gaz leading a unit of 20 boys going, try me.
Yep. Next up is that Killicans now suffer D3 mortal wounds when they power surge and roll a 1 or a 2.
Was it D6 before?
It might have been.
Seth
But
would
it's
know
very-
because Seth played them very briefly when Dread Mob first came out, and he went, "You kill yourself too fast."
Yep. Commandos have one of my favorite changes, and I think a change that has been needed for a long time. They can now split into 2 units during the declared battle formation step. So
And
they
it's a
can turn into 2
can, which
hives.
means you could keep them as a 10-strong unit if you wanted to.
Yep. I like how Seth's in our chat saying it means that he can join 20 boys with a weird board and jump. And it was also D6 mortal wounds before. The jumping gas is quite cool. I love it.
That seems very fun and terrifying.
I love everything about it. And then the last rules change that I'm seeing here is that mech guns, before selecting for the bubble chukka, before orc names for weapons, before selecting targets for 1 or more models equipped with this weapon, roll a d6 to determine which profile models equipped with this weapon and make attacks with. That's it.
Yeah,
That's
it
the
basically
change.
means that you have the flexibility of bubble chukka goes there, and then you figure out what it does. Was the old way it worked, and now it's all right. What does the bubble chukka actually do? Okay, this is going to go.
And then
over
you
here,
figure out what to do it. Yeah.
because
Right.
for anyone who's unfamiliar, the bubble chukka is not good, but also very funny.
Yes, it's a very variable weapon.
The bubble chukka is 3 modes. You roll a 1 or 2, a 3, 4, or a 5, 6. So if you roll a 1 or a 2, it's 2d6 at 6, 1, 1, 48 inches, which is a big bubble. You then have a wobbly bubble if you roll a 3 or a 4, which is d6 shots at 9, 2, 3. Or you have a dense bubble, which is d3 shots at 12, 3, d6 plus 3.
Those seem like they should have different targets if you're shooting them. Just saying.
Yep. No, it's I like that.
Yeah.
Gas plus knobs and tactical.
Ooh, ooh, spicy.
Knobs -1 to wound is actually really annoying with gas.
Yep.
All right.
Oh.
Orcs definitely the winners so far. In terms of points, they also got a whole bunch of point cuts. So Beast Boss's quick score went down 20. Big Mech Shock Attack on went down 5. Snickrot went down 20, so he's now only 75 points.
That's real cheap. He's real cheap.
Flash Gits went down 10 for the 10 strong variant, so they're back to where they were before, where 5 and 10 are just multiples of each other.
Yep.
Ludus, they did the same thing. They went down 15 points for the 10 strong. Mega Knobs went down 5 points for 2, 10 points for 3, 15 points for 5, or 20 points for 6. So 6 Mega Knobs is now 190 points.
That's cheap.
So for context, that is 10 points more than 6 Steeljacks for basically the same profile.
That is so cheap.
Except they get a 5-up Feel No Pain in the wall.
Yeah. Notably, Gaz did not go up points despite getting slightly better.
He did not. Mozrog went down 20. Warbikers went down 5 for 3 or 10 for 6. And the Warbuster Mega Armor went down 10. So he's now 80. So
nice.
All in all, like pretty good changes. The point changes aren't substantial, but they're enough to fit a little bit more in. It'll definitely be fun to see where they settle, because I think so far they're the winners of this slate.
Yeah. They definitely have gotten a bunch of extra cool things, and I like that Gaz is being kind of pumped up a little bit to be more seen in more armies. I think that'll be cool.
Yeah. All right. Space Marines.
Space
talked
Marines.
about most of the other ones, but
I'm gonna reel through this real quick to make sure I'm not missing anything. They got no rules changes in the data slate.
Correct.
But they did get points changes.
They did. So aggressors now scale properly. So the 6-man went down 20 points. So it's now 100 for 3 or 200 for 6.
Mm-hmm.
They then broke the scaling on JPIs and Blade Guards. So 10 JPIs went up 10 points. They're still cheaper than 2 5-mans. So it's 5 for 90 or 10 for 170. The Ballistas went up 10 and is 150 now. And then 6-man Blade Guards are now 170, up from 160. Yep. Gladiator Valiant, which is the one with all the Meltas, went down 10 points.
I've never seen anybody play it.
I played it once. It was fun. It was very funny when the Space Wolves Rapid Fire worked on it still, on all of its guns still.
Yep.
Land Reader went down 20. Land Reader Redeemer went down 15 to match the decrease that we saw in Grey Knights already. The Redemptor went down 15. It's now sub 200 again. It's 195, so that's exciting. And then Gilliman went up 20 points. He's back to the 340 that he was at, like, I think this time last year.
Yep.
He's just kind of gone, woo! And that's all they wrote for Marines. Like, some
Not
minor
really
changes, but, like, it's mainly the, like...
It's some little things, like some little tweaks, some increases to some staples that we've been seeing in lists. I think it seems like they're mostly happy with where Space Marines are at.
Yeah, I think we can agree. I think we can agree to disagree with GW about where Marines are at, but
I mean, they are getting a bunch of new detachments that are very spicy, right? They've gotten
that's just like specific chapters.
Sure. If you own one Space
like the core
Marine
Marine data sheets are shared by everyone else, and not everyone else is doing that well.
You own Space Marines. You own an entire super faction. I get it if you want to be loyal to your one army, though. I get it.
Well, it's also just like if I want to play with, like, the vast majority of my collection is actual, like, Dark Angels bespoke units. It's not just Marine units that I just can't use in all these new things. Mm-hmm. But it is very much a first world problem, so I'm not gonna dwell on it. Space Wolves.
No MFM changes, and they do get.
Just double check that they didn't get an FAQ or a RADA change because they love dropping those here. There is a change, but it is irrelevant. All it is basically for Saga of the Beast Slayer. You have to count those embarked in transports for your tally.
Interesting. Okay, fair. We're slowly piercing the veil of the liminal space. Yeah,
you're still in there.
Slowly getting there. You're still in there. I'm gonna find you.
Yeah, we gotta find you and kill you. There's no question about this. All right. And then points wise, basically anything that was being taken right now got a slight tap. So Arjak went up 10. Blood Claws, if you were taking a 20-man, went up 15 points. Ragnar went up 10. Thunderwolf Cav went up 15 for 3 or 10 for 6. So they're now a 3-6 perfect scaling.
Mm-hmm.
That's it for them.
Yep. It's fine. I don't think it changes a lot about what you're doing.
No, you might lose like half a unit depending on what you were running before. It makes the Ragnar Bloodclaw brick a little bit more expensive and a little bit less attractive, but that brick is still terrifying to so many armies.
I think the only thing that changed in my Gladius list was I took the Hunting Wolves off of my Head Taker unit.
Yeah,
that took all the changes
yet. We're
working through
3 factions away from them. We got to talk about Tau first, the exact opposite of World Leaders.
Tau have one set of changes is all I'm seeing in front of me, and that's the Ion Accelerator on Riptides, where the standard is now 923 and the supercharge is now 1034. So they got +1 strength on both profiles, which is fine.
+2 strength.
Oh, +2 strength.
It was 7 and 8 before.
It was 7 and 8. Dang, I thought it was
my last round of my event this past weekend. I was being shot at by 3 Riptides for most of the game, and I kept thinking, "Oh, these are so annoying." And then when I read this, I went, "Oh, they're even more annoying now." Make it stop.
But it doesn't seem like they got anything else unless they got something in their faction-specific MFM.
Nope. Just got some point tweaks, which they're all decreases. So that's, kind of
one of these is worrying. It's the first one.
I don't know what you're talking about. They definitely didn't make 3 broadsides 30 points cheaper.
I think that's bad. I think that is a bad change.
No, you went down 10 for 1, 10 for 2, and 30 for 3. So they're now 80, 170, 270. So there is still a negative scaling on them in terms of buffs. Like, it's not like 2 costs more than 2 individual ones, and 3 cost more than 3 individual ones. Mm-hmm. But Donald Plummer, the Storm Surge could be 700 for all I care. I never want to see that thing on the table ever again. Use it as a basing material. In cooler news, however, Commander Farsight did go down 10 points, so he's now only 85. Fire Knife battlesuits went down 10, and Sunforge battlesuits went down 10. So, Retaliation Cadre enjoyers celebrate, because that with the broadside nerfs decreases as well as the changes to Riptides is pretty substantial.
Then Fireside teams also went down 10.
What's the Fireside team do again? Is it the one that like guides and it's like a loan up or something?
I believe so.
Donald will probably tell us about it fast and we can look it up. Or if he can't, then we know exactly how useful that unit is.
Yep. I mean, we can just go to, well, we'll just go to Thousand Suns. This is fine. Yeah. All right, Thousand Suns got changes that I feel are deserved, but other people are going to disagree with me. Oh, the Fireside team, each time this unit makes an attack that targets a spotted unit, you can reroll the hit roll.
But
that appears to be all they do. And they've got 3 heavy precision 5-1-2 shots at BS4.
Sure. Okay.
And there's one fire shite marksman per unit. Sorry. All right. Thousand Suns.
Okay. Now it's a loan up. That's actually pretty cool.
Yeah, and it's a loan up. So the Cabal of Sorcerers army roll has changed, where you can only attempt a ritual once per turn. So you can only attempt to manifest a ritual once per turn. You can't continue attempting to manifest.
If it fails,
and then if it fails, it fails. And then Grand Covenant Incandeum enhancement changed to you can still Doom Bolt even if another army has attempted to manifest the ritual this phase. It's just
it basically makes it so that it lines up with the change to the army roll, because the old wording was that you could manifest it even if it had already been manifested. Whereas now with the change, it was like, well, you might fail and then you can't actually do it with the old wording.
And the last one is the Sorcerer and Terminator datasheet has changed to, at the start of your shooting phase, select one enemy unit that is visible to this Psyker model. Till the end of the phase, each time a model in this unit makes an attack that targets the enemy unit, add 1 to the hit roll.
So it got the old ability back, because its current ability before today was that after it's shot, you choose something hit by one of its psychic weapons, and your entire army gets +1 to hit it. Now it's just its unit that gets buffed.
I honestly think these changes are fine. I don't think some Thousand Suns players have
fine without the context of the point changes that they also got.
Yeah, they also did get a lot of points changes, which I do think
went down 20 points, which
cool.
But then the Infernal Master went up 10, Magnus went up 15, Needle of Vortex Beast went up 15, Rubric Marines went up 5 points if you're taking 5. The Scarab Cult Terminators did go down 15 in the 10-man. Secatars did go down 5 points a model. Sorcerers went up 10. Zangor Enlightened, the regular ones, went up 5 per 3. So they're now 55 and 90. And then the Bows went up 10 for 3 or 30 for 6, which deserved on the Bows. I would have put them at I probably would have put them at 55, 110, but they went 60, 110. So I think that's fine. And then the Eldritch Vortex went up 10 points to be 35. And yeah, Spooky Kabuki, Plague Marines at 90 while Rubric's at 105 is pretty wild.
It is true.
Especially because, so I was going through this, and the list that I was running for T-Suns beforehand, before I had to take a little bit of a break, that list went up 200 points. That list went up as much as Death Guard just went up beforehand. And Thousand Suns were nowhere near that good or that oppressive.
I'd agree with that.
And this also comes the Secatars went down, sure. Terminators went down, sure, but it's not enough to compensate for what you lose in the army, because the army was already fairly light on the ground. You didn't have that much stuff.
Yeah.
So I think this and Aeldari are their 2 big misses here.
I don't think Aeldari needed that much of a nerf. I think
no, but they needed something.
And they got something. They took the Swooping Hawks build and took a bunch of points off of it. Could they have done more? I agree. I do think that Death Guard are kind of skating with their 80% of the nerf that they deserved thing.
Yeah, whereas T-Suns very much got 120 here.
I don't think it's 120, but they definitely got 100.
I think it's 120.
Okay.
I think that they should have hit either rubrics or characters, not both. Hitting the Zangor Enlightened with bows, that's fine. That unit was atrociously undercosted. But hitting everything that's currently taken in lists without anything that is even considered to be viable, maybe the Terminator build ends up flipping back, and who knows, maybe 30 Terminators is the new meta and everyone gets to deal with always -1 to wound Terminators.
Yeah, I think it's okay. I think we'll see how it works out. Tyranids are next. Tyranids didn't get any rules changes as far as I can tell. There was a brief moment today where people were freaking out thinking that the Tunnel Snakes detachment, that's a subterranean assault detachment.
I don't know where that came from, because I don't see any restriction. I never saw an actual line anywhere.
It's on the Trigon datasheet apparently.
Oh, but the Trigon could never charge after.
Yeah. So people saw that, and because they saw subterranean assault after it, and assumed that meant the subterranean assault bit coming out of tunnels meant you could no longer charge, but that's not what it means. So people, it's okay.
Yeah. So then Genestealers went down 10 points for 10. The Moloch went down 10 points, now 135. Neurolectors went down 10, so they're now 70. And Tervagons went down 15, so she's now 160.
It's fine.
Yeah. No notes, really, when it comes to Tyranids. It's unfortunate that Subterranean Assault has kind of just become the way that you play them because of...
because of where they're at.
They cooked a little harder on that one than they did on the other ones.
They did. And it's like, it's fine that it's good. I do wish they had, like you can always hope that they do something to make one of the other detachments more interesting, but I have enjoyed playing Subterranean Assault quite a bit, and so I'm fine with it. And it didn't really need any points changes. It wasn't blowing up the world or anything. It was like sitting at a 50% win rate for the faction. I'm sure they're fine. We'll see. Maybe this is a big miss. I don't know. Some people are in my DMs telling me it's a big miss, and I'm like, it felt like it was fine, but we'll see.
Yeah. All right.
Vanguard,
and then last but certainly not least, we have the World Eaters.
World Eaters got perhaps the most unexpected set of buffs on the planet. When somebody asked me months ago if I thought World Eaters should get buffed, I told them no. And I told them no because they were doing really well.
Buffed necessarily. They got internal balance tweaks.
I don't know. Anthony seems so happy about these that I just assume they're buffs.
Anthony got happy because it means he can put 8-bound on the table again.
This is true. The biggest changes here for rules are that the Exalted 8-bound datasheet now gets +1 damage on the charge into monsters or vehicles, and the Slaughterbound's melee weapons are now strength 10, AP2 damage 2. Those are the rules changes that they got.
Yeah. The Slaughterbound going up 2 strength is pretty nice, but the +1 damage, especially because it's models in this unit, so which means the Slaughterbound benefits from it. Yeah. Which there's an enhancement for +1 damage on one of them, right?
Correct.
So you can make them damage 4.
Yeah, you can become damage 4, which is
just give them that.
Yeah, just goodbye Knights. If you were having a problem with Knights, you no longer have a problem with Knights because
monster vehicle 3-up is a thing.
Yep, and he can still be really good into infantry because I think you can still get him up to at least damage 3 plus all the other stuff into infantry. So you're fine. Everybody is
points
fine.
Though they also got a substantial amount of both decreases and increases. This is what I mean by it being like an internal balance change more than anything else. Like Anthony might be really happy with that's because it leans more towards his way of playing the army.
That's fair.
So
I think
Angron went down 25 points. The Chaos Land Raider went down 20, as is tradition. The Spawn went up 10 points.
Yep.
But Chaos Terminators, which is very funny because they didn't change in other armies, but they did go 10 points for 5 or 20 points for 10. I'm sure Dean over at Blog for the Blood God will love that. You can run 30 Terminators again. 8-bound went down 15 points for 3 or 30 points for 6, and they're now 135 or 270. So that's a 10% cut right there. And then Exalted 8-bound, in addition to getting the damage buff against monsters and vehicles, also went down 20 points for 3 or 40 points for 6, and they're now 140, 280. So that's a pretty good price point.
That's a big deal.
And then to compensate for that, Forge Fiends went up 20 points because stop it.
And then Karn went up 15 points.
Sure.
2 and 100. It's fine. He's good. Yeah. And
I think he still gets taken in like Berserker Warband and whatnot because he is really hard to pass up on.
I think you just cycle some stuff around is basically what happens. You cycle in 8-bound.
You probably cycle out the Forge Fiends and cycle in Exalteds.
Yeah. I mean, you don't even necessarily need to drop all your Forge Fiends. You can probably still take 1 or 2. You just probably don't take 3.
Why did they give +1 damage to the character in World Eaters, but not to my Paladins GW? Look, they've been wildly inconsistent with how they hand out that kind of thing. Like, I honestly think that most datasheet buffs shouldn't carry over to the character.
Agreed.
If for no other reason that it means that Fuegan can't use Aspect Shrine tokens.
I agree. Fuegan shouldn't be able to use Aspect
He also shouldn't get the rerolls.
I don't know about that. You can't get me there. You're not getting me.
I had you.
You almost had me.
Right.
Honestly, I think they should just switch those things around so that when Fuegan's leading the unit, they get full or something. I think it'd be more interesting. But I feel like a bunch of Eldar players from the Eldar Union are going to send me messages about how I
Of
should
course,
say
well, you're an
such
Eldar player
terrible
anyways.
things.
You can fight them off. All right. Was there anything else that we missed? I think that was everything.
Nope. I don't think there are any other big changes.
There's a bunch of other things that I'm seeing that got updated here on Warcom's page, but I don't actually see any changes in them.
Yep. All right, and we don't know if there are any new
Oh,
detachments.
sorry, no, there was something else that they did.
What did we miss?
Imperial Knights does have an errata page, an FAQ out already. And you know what they decided to do? They decided to give the big Knights OC10 back.
But why? Okay.
So, Imperial Knights and Chaos Knights, the bigs had one major difference, aside from like profile differences and whatnot, is that the bigs and Chaos Knights were OC10 and the bigs and Imperial Knights were OC8. And when I was reading through the two books and kind of determining why, the thing that made the most sense is Imperial Knights have access to a quality that gives them +2 lead OC and +1 leadership.
Makes sense.
Well, apparently they didn't think that mattered, so now they go back to OC10.
Whatever. I guess.
And as far as I can tell, I'm looking through the Imperial armor for Imperial Knights, and I think that's the only thing that they changed.
I'm just thinking about it here to myself, and I'm like, nobody's taking the +2 OC thing anyway.
No, so just make them OC10 like, anyway.
Whatever.
However, if you are playing the detachment where you can get multiple qualities,
that
might actually be pretty substantial. So,
yeah, could be. I won't lie. It feels like it feels impactful.
But World Eaters did have some FAQs added. So, first one was, can I use a summon by slaughter stratagem to deploy bloodletters in the first battle round? Unless they started on the table and were picked up, no, because can't do that. If Angron is destroyed and I use his Reborn in Blood ability, can I still use the Wrath of Khorne detachment ability for the Vessels of Wrath detachment? The answer is yes. So Vessels of Wrath allows you to pick a couple units and then say these have this buff in addition. Because currently, when you do your Blessings roll and you bring back Angron, you don't get anything else.
Makes sense.
Spend those 3 6s, he comes back, and that's it. You don't get to do anything else. But they're basically saying, no, you still get to use the Vessels rule, which means you can still give like that unit sustained.
That makes sense. You don't lose.
And then can a World Eater's Frenzy ability trigger more than once per phase? Yes. Cool. We still get to have fun with the Hellbrute, and we still go watch him pinball across someone's entire table.
Were there any other tournament packet changes other than the Challenger card changes?
I think that was it, to be honest, but I will double check. Chapter Companion. So, set aside the secondary commission cards as normal. Players receive these. Read mission. By achieving secondary mission, achieve later. Twist cards and Challenger cards will not be used. I'm sure there's like an FAQ in here. Okay, so there are some FAQs. All it is it's Terraform, which, So all it is Terraform. If I terraform and reject my opponent's deployment zone, can my opponent terraform that objective back? No. As that player can't perform the terraform action on an objective marker within their deployment zone, which is just funny. The most hilarious confirmation ever. Look, if you're playing terraform and your opponent gets to terraform your home, you've already fucked up so badly.
You definitely have. Yeah, I'm just re-scrolling through rules commentary right now to make sure we didn't miss anything.
Well, that's why I said I like they added the changelog at the top of the rules commentary where they just said these are the things that we added in there.
Oh yeah, it's right there.
Yeah, like they've been doing a lot of work on like just improving the visibility and readability of these rules. They just need to improve the searchability in the app. And then the other one is for terraform. If I complete the terraform action on an objective that was terraformed by my opponent, is the objective now terraformed by me? Yes. Because some people thought that it was a start neutral, go one way, do the action to get it back to neutral, do the action again to get it on your side. No, it's start neutral, it's theirs, it's yours. It's theirs, it's yours.
Yeah, I don't see anything else. Quickly looking through other stuff. I think that's everything as far as I can tell.
Yeah, Centurion Karn, you're asking us to check the tournament packet, but I think we already talked about Challenger cards going away, and I don't see anything else. Like maybe they changed something in like base sizes, but I don't care about that. I would laugh if they changed the
I guess they added during determined mission, set aside the secondary mission cards deck as normal. Players will receive these later. Read mission. You can also score BP by achieving secondary missions, twist cards and challenge cards. It says, for this reason, we have not included the asymmetric war cards, which are twists and challenger cards.
Yeah, because it used to say that it didn't include asymmetric and twist cards because these were intended for more open play, and now they've removed challenger cards wholesale because.
The other change that's marked red is no prisoners not being able to be selected, but that was correct. That was true previously.
Yeah, because it was a fixed option, which was,
yeah.
Please no.
I'm also double checking just make sure we didn't miss anything. That's all. I don't see anything else in red. And I'm not going to scroll through all the base sizes. That will drive me crazy. Yeah, I don't know. And yes, Charles, as we did talk about the Valor Strike changes. In case people missed that portion, they basically made the ones that target multiple knights no longer target multiple knights. They only target one knight. And then they removed advanced rerolls from that detachment as well. Although they do need to change the wording on their detachment ability, because currently it reads as if I advance one knight, it gives everybody assault.
Which it doesn't do anything
change anything, but it is very funny.
Yeah, and it only applies to Imperial Knight models, so it's not like you can be like, ha, he advanced. That immolator over there has assault now.
That would be cool, but I'm glad it doesn't.
They at least thought about that one.
They did. I'm proud of them for thinking of that, because it's good that they thought about it and they didn't do that. So why don't we talk biggest winners and losers and kind of see where we're at? Do you want to give me your biggest winner?
Oh, orcs, hands down.
Yeah, it's hands down orcs. Orcs, hands down, are the biggest winners of this detachment. I think a bunch of armies that didn't get many changes also ranked.
Yeah, like Aeldari is the second winner.
I think World Leaders also come out ahead. Yes. I think other winners... I think that's really it. I think it's just those three, really. World Leaders, Eldar, and Orcs kind of coming out really good ahead. I don't think anybody else is coming out super ahead on it. I think if you didn't get a lot of changes, you basically are coming out pretty well. There are some nothing... Oh, AdMech! That's right. We forgot about AdMech for a second.
I do love because in our review for Goonhammer, we put them as one of the winners, and in the bracket it was, we're serious this time.
Yeah.
I mean, they seem like winners, but it's also just like it'll be interesting to see if they actually are. Because like the changes are, yes, Ballistary got better. And Call got better.
Yes.
But does that actually change how the army fundamentally plays?
I think the biggest thing to me is that I don't believe that AdMech are winners until they win something. Like, you guys got to prove it.
You hear that, Richard? Get out there and play AdMech. Shelve the Votann for a little bit and go prove people that AdMech are good again, because I'm definitely not going to do it.
Death Guard are definitely like neutral to winner. I think they're like a little winner.
I would call them a winner just by nature of no changes.
Yeah, they're not a big winner, but they are a winner. I think neutral are like Tyranids. They're pretty neutral. They don't really get a lot out of this. They get some
Tyranids, Votann, Tau.
Anybody who didn't really get other changes like Grey Knights, Black Templar, kind of pushing just fine. Grey Knights
losers because they needed something, but
they did need something.
They definitely have a codex now.
Imperial Knights and Chaos Knights are losers, but to different degrees. Chaos Knights are big losers. Imperial Knights are like slight losers, but I think Imperial Knights still have like a lot of range of play, and I think that the Companions detachment is where people will go. GSC are big losers, right? Just the biggest. No, I'm kidding. Just they are big losers.
They're big losers, but they also deserved it. So
it's true. Look, the proletariat can't just uprise all the time.
They can be egalitarian with everyone else.
It's true. They don't have to win all the time.
Well, than others.
You got to share your win rate with other people. That's the true egalitarian ideal.
Win rate, and so the rest of the proletariat rose up against them and took it back.
Who do you think are other maybe slight winners? Like just because they get something kind of neat that's kind of
Custodes probably.
I am honestly terrified to see 30 Custodian Gardens.
That's basically what I'm worried about.
The table for me, because they still have 800 points of other stuff in that army. It's secretly, I think Deathwatch are scary because that's pretty sizable points cuts to a bunch of data sheets.
Oh no, Ben. My LBO tattoo bet just got so much better. Poor Floof.
Poor Floof. Floof, you need to get in the pocket of GW some more in order to
That's
get
the trick. Ben's in the pocket.
Ben's in the pocket somehow. Big GW. I don't know how. I'm just gonna say
we'll find a way.
We'll find a way. T-Suns did get smoked. They are one of the big losers.
They are the biggest loser.
I don't think Necrons are a particularly big loser.
They're a small loser because like losing Ignore Mods is big, but it just means that you move away from the King Castle.
Right. I think it's fine.
Like the Awakened build didn't change at all.
You can still play Star Shatter without him.
You can. I don't know if you...
Floof, I don't know if you can lock the fuck in.
It's on like Donkey Kong, Ben.
Figure it. I think you two need to make a second
I now want to see
bed.
Ben do better than Floof, but Ben running that Titan that he's been posting around.
You could switch it and both just run Titans and see who gets the furthest. That's what I'll say.
Whoever loses later in the event.
Yeah. Whoever loses latest in the event.
They pair each other round one.
Exactly.
I would so have a talk with Adam about seeing if we could make that happen just for the hilarity of it.
Adam,
rock up and go, well, you have a Chaos Titan, I have an Imperial Titan.
Can you just keep hitting the pairings button until you pair Ben and Floof together? Just keep hitting it. No, I just want them to keep it. That's all. Just until we randomly get them. What else? I think that's kind of it. I don't know. I'm really glad that Challenger Cards has changed. I think it's good. It'll be better for the game.
That on its own made this slate great. The relative lack of other changes balance-wise probably is fine. Like I still think that like Death Guard and Aeldari needed changes more than, well, Death Guard anything, and Aeldari more than what they want, specifically targeting the Aspect Host and Warhost lists that have been doing really well.
Sure. I can see that perspective. I get it. I do.
Yeah. However, there's also enough things that have changed that it's fine.
Yeah.
Like we'll see where we're at, and we will see where things go with because this is basically good of the world's meta.
I think this is one of the better slates that they've released, honestly, of the edition. Its responses to a bunch of stuff. They fixed some stuff that hadn't quite come out that was going to potentially be a problem.
Mm-hmm.
Was it 100% what I wanted? No. Was it like 80% of what I wanted? Yes, which is the highest percentage so far of a slate of things I've wanted and gotten.
Yeah. And that's the thing. Their slates are never going to be perfect. Like I'd give this like a B-, which is perfectly fine. Yeah,
I give it
surprised the BT RepX didn't go up. Look, BT didn't get any changes, so
Aeldari can never not be winners. It's true.
That is the lore. Aeldari never lose.
They never lose. They only win. And they won by getting like some points cuts and no points increases to things that were important. Well, Swift Cox, but
yeah, like the 30 Hawk build's dead, but that's fine because that was a bit of a meme sometimes.
Also, it's funny because I don't even think that was particularly good on anything except specific terrain formats. I don't, but
clearly someone played someone at the studio with it and they went, no,
never again. Yeah, I think it's fine. I think it'll be interesting to see where the meta settles after this because the Knights changes were big enough that I think it kind of changes perspective on that army quite a bit.
I think they're going to be a much more fair army now.
Yeah, they're going to play a lot more fair Warhammer with that army. Will it be perfect? No. I don't think we're going to be going into Nightfall as much as we thought we were. It's still going to be pretty Nightfall-y, though.
Yes, agreed.
But yeah, I'm just going to be excited for Drukhari to come out whenever they do that, and playing Eldar and blowing up people's knights when they run them right at my deployment zone.
Yeah. So that'll be interesting.
Yeah. Anything else before we sign off for our 3-hour break before we come back for our hobby hour, hours later today?
Nothing I can think of. No. Like overall, go out, have some fun, play some Warhammer. Let me know how it goes.
Exactly. All right, everybody. We will. What? I'm not going to talk about that.
We just say that I'm leaks. Unfortunately,
we don't talk about leaks, but I hope you all have a wonderful day. I hope to see a bunch of you later today when we are building and having more chats. I don't know what we're going to chat about. Well, we're probably going to talk about a bunch of stuff just because. Also, bring questions. We'll answer questions on air and talk about whatever kind of you guys want to talk about. And you should help us name the show because I don't know what I should call it yet.
I'm going to try to figure out if I can set up a camera to cover my paint spot, but probably not. So you just deal with my face.
It's honestly not going to be my face. I'm just going to point it at my hands, and you're all just going to watch me build stuff badly.
My desk is chaos, so that's not something I'm going to clean up in 3 hours. So
fair enough.
Martijn Innes is currently in Amsterdam Amersfoort. He's at Eurotrash.
What's the dress code for tonight?
Whatever doesn't get us demonetized.
That's a good answer, and I like it.
Okay.
All right, everybody. Everybody have a wonderful day. Hopefully we'll see you in a few hours. Take care.
Bye.
Bye-bye.